Alright, here's a little sneak peek. Now watch the video to see how I did it. Right, now we're gonna make a fountain for our pond. So how are we gonna do that? Well, I'm a redneck, so we're gonna do it redneck style. I got this 55-gallon barrel. What I'm gonna do is gonna cut the bottom off all the way around, probably about 6 to 5 inches. I haven't decided yet. Then I'm gonna flip it upside down. Gonna cut a hole in it. Going to bolt bucket to that lid. So the bottom of that, this is gonna get bolted to it with these stainless steel washers and bolts and nuts, okay? Then I'm going to cut a hole in the bottom of that. Then I'm going to drop this submersible sump pump from Barracuda. It's a 3rd horsepower. Gonna drop that into the hole. And then I'm gonna take fittings and make myself a little fountain stem, okay? It's gonna go up, and I'm actually gonna make the top removable. So I got these caps. I'm gonna drill some holes in the caps. Water's gonna come up. I have a waterproof electrical cord thing, like this is for Christmas and whatnot, but I think it'll work for the pond. I may add some caulk in there and whatnot. So that's gonna be in the water probably, if this doesn't reshore. Then I'm gonna flip it all upside down. Okay, so now this is looking just like that, okay? With the bucket sitting right there. The pump is not in there. The pump can be removable, okay? Gonna drill holes in this so water can get in this bucket. All right, you guys are catching on. Gonna also use tape from my fittings that I don't PVC cement. Then I'm gonna take the spray foam here with that up like that, so it's hold on this side. I'm gonna spray foam inside there. Okay, then that's gonna keep it buoyant. So then what I'll probably do is get some like Plastidip or something like that and spray the whole thing black or blue, something like that, so that way this doesn't get wet when I put it in the pond. Okay, so now we're sitting like that. Gonna flip it over. Got the hole in the top with the bucket sitting kind of like this. So it'll be coming over. It'll be all hardened foam, which keeps it floating. Then that gets put in here. And I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna stabilize that or not. Then I'm gonna turn it on. And fountain. That's how we're gonna do it. So stay watching this video to find out how. My equipment we're using, a 5-gallon bucket, some stainless machine screws, hex nut, flat washers. Obviously I got some fittings. This is 1.5 inches. Got me a pipe. This is about 2 foot long. Obviously I'm gonna cut it. Like I said, some tape and electrical extension cord cover to make it waterproof. If you've never seen these things before, they got a bunch of chambers in here. Basically I'm not quite sure they're for like lakes or ponds, but they will be today. That's what it looks like. So you connect your electrical cord right here, and then the water has to get through all those different layers, which hopefully it won't. And then we got our pump. Total, I'm in $100. That's all. $100 for a brand new fountain. We're gonna give this a go. Keep watching. So first step is I measured 5 inches up on a stick. I put it down here on the bottom, and then I marked it like every 6 inches. Then rolled my barrel over and took a straight edge and connected all of them and just rolled it and did it on a Sharpie. Now I'm gonna drill a hole, and I'm gonna take my jigsaw and I'm gonna cut this out. So that's what you're gonna see next, is that unattached from that. So what we did was, took our drill, we drilled a hole in this after we traced the bottom of a smaller bucket, which is right there, because I wanted something smaller. But I'm gonna put the big bucket in here, you'll see that. So we drilled a hole in the inside of our circle, and then we cut it out with the jigsaw. Alright, so now what we're gonna do is we are going to mount this on top of our green bucket and you'll see that in a second. So you may be asking yourself, why is he using this green bucket? Well, because this bucket right here used to hold dill pickles, and I wanted to use something that didn't have any chemicals in the pond. This had water in it. Blue usually means water. So that had water in it. This had dill pickles in it. That's why you were using this bucket. So now we have the hole cut. This is cleaned out and ready for the foam. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna move it to the workbench. We're gonna flip this up here, and we are going to drill through this lip. I'll show you right here on the bucket. And then we are going to use basically just a little bit, big enough for these. And then after we drill all the holes all the way around, basically to hold that to that, then we're gonna go from the other side and we're gonna bolt that on there. We'll see what that looks like when it's done. So we got this pickle bucket bolted in here. That's what it looks like. It's pretty stable. So basically that's what it looks like so far. Now, what I'm gonna have to do obviously is cut a hole for the electrical cord coming off the pump. Haven't decided where I want to cut that yet. So let's do the foam so the foam can dry. And what we're gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to record a little bit of it. So what I'm gonna do is I want to fill all the cracks around this, and then we're just gonna keep going with it all the way around, and then I'm gonna fill up this whole thing. So that'll be what that's one can of it. Now we're gonna try 2 cans. So I want to fill that all the way up. If it goes over the edge, I'll just take a saw and cut it. All right. So now we are going to be working on the fountain part of it, the pump. While this is drying, you can see this is 2 cans of foam, and it has expanded higher than the rim, but I think I'm gonna leave it. I think it's fine. What we're gonna do is we'll put it in the water and see how it does in the water before we make our decision if we're gonna take a saw and cut that flat or if we're gonna leave it. But I think I'm happy with that. I'm not quite sure if it'll get any bigger tonight, but we will see. So moving on. So what we're gonna do is we're making we took a mock bucket here, which is basically bucket same size as the one we're using, and we are going to we're gonna put on our first fitting, and we're gonna use the thread seal tape. We're gonna put it on that. Gonna put this on there. Then we're gonna kind of jerry rig up how high up we want to go with the fountain, and then we're going to drill our holes in our cap, which is probably the most important part of this whole thing. And how we're going to do that is we are going to put it in the vice grip right here, and then we're going to take our drill with a small drill bit, probably like 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit bigger, and we're going to I'll show you the design on this when we get to that point. All right, so that's what we're looking at right now. So we have our cap here, and you'll see I have each hole angled on the outside about a 30-degree angle outward. So it'll be like this, and then I have one in the middle, which is a little bit bigger than the rest of them. So that should be a pretty good nozzle. So now what we're gonna do is we have the stem ready, and right now it's a few inches higher than the hole, which I think it'll work good for the pump itself. And I did add a few more holes in the outside of the pickle bucket. And then of course I've added the hole in the bottom for the extension cord. So right now we're going to seal this on there, and then basically this I'll be able to take off anytime I want to change out this. Let's say I just want one straight coming out the top, I can just take a cap. I have an extra cap here, I bought 2 of them. I could just drill holes straight in the middle of that and have that basically doing that. So right now we're going to finish up today, let that dry overnight, and then we're going to give it some test goes, and then what we'll do is we'll take the plastic dip stuff and seal this up as long as we make sure that floats. All right, so we'll see you tomorrow. So we got about 2 coats of the plastic dip on there, and the reason why we're not using Flex Seal is because Flex Seal is like 15 bucks for 1 can. This is about 4 or 5. So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to coat all of the foam so that way it's essentially waterproof, that it won't suck up water, but it'll kind of be a vapor barrier basically. Spray painted this, obviously that was blue last time, now it's black. In the other side, I put in my hole for my outlet or my cord. So it looks pretty good. I'm just looking to see if I see any white spots in there, because I think the foam is actually still expanding. It's been 24 hours, but so I think the foam is coming up a little bit more and cracking it. So maybe we'll spray it one more time. I only have 2 cans on it so far. This is the second can, so I still have another can of this Plasta Dip. So now what we'll do is we're gonna let that dry really good. And then we're gonna put the pump in it, and then we're going to set it in the water and see what it does. The pump turned out really good. The fountain, you can see the fountain head there, really snazzy. I think it'll be really good. I have a bolt in there to zip tie that to so it doesn't move around. So after we see if it works, then basically what I'll do is I'll put an eye bolt in here and attach it to a light chain, attach the light chain to a medium chain, attach the medium chain to a large chain, and attach that large chain to a center block. So that way, basically, it'll kind of keep it suspended without pulling it down is the goal. And then it can go up and down depending on the height of the water as well. So it'll have some slack in it. All right, so let's finish this up. So it's pretty much finished. You know, we're gonna cut the, we zip tied it to that bolt. And I did end up spraying it about 2-3 times all over. You can see how far it sticks up. Now the question is, will it float, and what will the spray pattern look like? Will this like push it one way or another in the water? And that's what we're gonna find out. I did end up using that waterproof package thing for the outlet. It's like a Christmas thing. I only wrapped it in duct tape because I sealed both ends with caulk, just to give it a little more waterproofing once the caulk dries. So the duct tape is just holding it basically. I may wrap it in electrical tape really good, just to make it look black, so it kind of blends in a little bit as well. But we're about to do the maiden voyage. I see it's pretty sturdy in there. Zip ties in there on that. Zip ties are pretty cheap. I can replace it, you know, every 3 months if need be. See the pump is in there. So let's give this guy a go. Right, I just threw it in. Success. Bangarang. That thing is floating. Now let's go turn it on. In hindsight, when I did the electrical cord, that is also floating because there's air in there. So did not think of that. So I have to attach a brick to that or something like that later. But I could see the bucket is full of water. Let's go turn it on. All those naysayers out there, look at that. Oh my gosh, I caught so much crap because I told people what I was gonna do, and look at that. Look at that fountain. That thing goes like 25-30 feet in the air. That's really cool. And it's moving around. That's cool. So I have to put a chain on it. Obviously I don't want it this close, I want it in the middle, but that's really cool. The reason why I don't want it on the edge is because obviously the water will come up and hit the dirt and it'll dry, so basically I'd be dehydrating my pond. But boom, you too can make your own redneck fountain.